What? Wait, I don't think they're ready for this.
These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. Pull up on them and it look nice, look nice.
These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. These moves looking real nice in the future. Pull up on them and it look nice, look nice.
Yeah, we look nice, future looking nice, we don't need to tell them twice.
Here comes the future.
Yeah, we look nice, future looking real nice, we don't need to tell them twice.
Here comes the future.
Good afternoon and welcome to GMHBA Stadium for match day 4 of the Isuzu UTE A-League Men's. It's Western United chasing 3 straight wins for just the 3rd time in club history against bottom-placed Brisbane Roar. Cup hiccup aside, Western United have been rolling along nicely under new coach John Aloisi. 2 straight wins, including knocking off the champions last week, Melbourne City, in the A-League Men's. With a 3rd consecutive win today, the home side can take themselves to the top of the table as they meet a battling Brisbane Roar. Their defence has been superb. You can see Nikolai Topor-Stanley. He'll be starting at the back for Western United in this one. That is the only change from John Aloisi's team, who beat the champions last weekend. Leo Lacroix, the Swiss defender, he's a huge loss, leading the team to those back-to-back clean sheets. And he's out with a knee issue, so Topor-Stanley comes in. Risdon plays his 200th game in the A-League Men's, and they've got 3 former Raw players in the starting 11. Jamie Young in goals, Dylan Wenzel-Halls up top, and in the midfield, Steve Lustica. They're also coached by former Raw manager John Aloisi. And Wenzel-Halls has scored 2 goals in his last 2, an outstanding start to life at Western United. He would love to continue that against his former side this afternoon, who have one change as well. Jack Hingett is out with a hamstring injury, and a reshuffled formation means Argentine Juan Lascano slots in up front for his first start in the A-League Men's. In Raw colours, Ramat Akbari plays his 50th A-League Men's match, and only 4 members of Brisbane's squad today have played more than 50 A-League Men's matches: Scott Neville, Corey Brown, Nikola Milojuznic and Jay O'Shea. There's the Argentine Juan Lascano getting us underway as Brisbane Roar go in search of their first win this season in Geelong. And already we've got a free kick for the Roar, and Phil Moss, they can't afford to go 4 matches without 3 points.
No, they certainly can't, Ben. It's still early days, of course, in the competition, but for confidence and belief through the dressing room, you can't afford to go 4 games without your first win. It becomes a habit, and you don't want a losing habit to really infiltrate the dressing room.
Speaking of elimination finals, John Aloisi at Brisbane guided the Roar to a couple of semi-finals, got them through those initial first weeks of the finals, but went down in the semis. 2 third-place finishes, a 6th-place finish in his 3 full seasons in charge. Of course, departed in the start of that 4th year. Connor Payne on the outside of Truant. And hung up by Garuccio and stabbed goalwards by Wenzel-Halls. Good save from Freak, had to be sharp to his right.
It just shows you the predatory instincts of Dylan Wenzel-Halls there. Whenever he's in and around that 6-yard box, he is so dangerous. But Freak getting down well to his right there, had to be sharp. As you see the ball lofted in, and a good little cushioned header there into the path of Dylan Wenzel-Halls. He just had to get something on it to get it goal bound, which he did. Pulled out a good save, awkward bounce for the goalkeeper.
Lustica, another one of those 3 former Raw men in the Western lineup. You can just see Raw dominating possession to start this one in the opening 10 minutes. Western with the best chance, you would probably say, to this point, through Wenzel-Halls. Lockie Wales takes on Brown. Problems for Brisbane. Wenzel-Halls, he had all the time in the world and couldn't break through the Brisbane backline, which were all stationed inside the 6-yard box along with Macklin Freak.
Well, the inquisition there has to start with letting Lockie Wales run at you like that. experienced defender in Corey Brown. You can't let Lockie Wales run at you like that in the box. And Wenzel Hall's good first up defending, but just couldn't get the ball out of his feet to get the second strike away with the goal gaping in front of him. You can see there, ball just stuck under his feet. Great chance for Western United.
So a big period of the game here for Brisbane, really struggling to contain Western United. And again, passes in the final third, just letting them down. And Warren Moon showing his frustration. Ivanovic just decides to take them on. As Garuccio backpedaling. This is better. O'Shea allowed some space to roam at the top of the box there. Jamie Young, very unimpressed. He knows the danger O'Shea possesses.
Yeah, it all comes from Luka Ivanovic's willingness to take his defender on. I love watching this kid play. He's so positive with the ball at his feet. Yeah, but on the flip side of that, Ben, is Johnny Aloisi, and he'll be knowing that this dominance in the early stages of the game, you need to make that pay on the scoreboard. Had a couple of really gilt-edged chances, so he'll be frustrated that his team's not ahead on the scoreboard at this stage. And the longer it stays scoreless, the more oxygen Brisbane will get, more belief starts to build, particularly for the away team.
Kilkenny. The pass misguided towards Garuccio. Now Payne, what a performance early on from him. Connor Payne all the way, almost an own goal. I do not know how Corey Brown has prevented that from going into his own net.
Well, he's done very, very well. He's kept his head there, but you can see Connor Payne really driving, changed his mind there, if you like, and I think Corey Brown showed all his experience there to usher it up and over. But Lockie Wales was furious that Connor Payne decided to flash it across the face of goal rather than cut it back to him. He was in plenty of space on the penalty spot, I should say. But I can see why Connor Payne changed his mind, just the way Brisbane were defending that situation.
Risdon asks a bit of Diamanti, who chases it down. Lockie Wales, now Connor Payne sets himself, and again the desperation from Brisbane inside their penalty box is exemplary.
Well, they could take a leaf from the book in general play, because it's inside the box where they're desperate to defend, but outside the box they're not. That space afforded to Diamanti and Lockie Wales down the right-hand side is the reason that they had to defend desperately inside their box.
His delivery was curling in rapidly towards that front post. O'Shea with the header away. Juan Lescano in his first start for the club, just there behind O'Shea, the Argentine import, has been a peripheral figure. Kilkenny beats everyone, and now Wales looking to break through that kind of traffic. That pass just aimless, and you can see Diamanti again gesturing to himself, muttering under his breath.
Well, he's got a point. You know, they're the moments that make all the difference. Just need a little bit of quality, a little bit of composure. As you see Topper Stanley laying the ball off there for the strike on goal, but just too many Brisbane bodies in and around the ball there.
On the line for both sides. Brisbane, their first win of the season. Western to go top of the table. Ivanovic, maybe the final chance here of the half. O'Shea. Truan measures the ball towards Ivanovic, now Akbari. Comfortable in the end for Jamie Young. But better there from Brisbane in the shadows of half-time. So a frustrating first half from both sides. Comes to an end in Geelong. There were chances early, more so falling the way of Alessandro Diamante's team. Brisbane Roar had their opportunities as well, but it was an arm wrestle for the back end of that first half. Halftime in Geelong, Western United 0, Brisbane Roar 0. So Western United get things started in the second 45. A win today taking them to the top of the pops, but they've got a lot of work to do if they want to get into that position. Phil Moss.
Yeah, they certainly do, Ben. It was good to hear Warren Moon acknowledge that his team had made some silly errors, given the ball away in silly areas, which opened some opportunities for Western United. But to also hear him say we need to be brave and move the ball forward quicker with more conviction. Let's see if they can execute that in the second half. And from Western United's point of view, I think Broski and Lukey Wilkshire summed it up perfectly at half-time. Just that cutting edge, the final pass, the final strike on goal was missing in that first half. Let's see if Johnny Aloisi has been able to address that at half-time.
Brindle South has plenty of pace, so that's why this duel with Wales will be even more interesting in this second half. He won the battle early on with Corey Brown, but Brown snuffed him out late in the first half. But here is Wales up against Brindle South. Diamante had 3 Raw men around him, and Daly emerges with possession. Mile Uznic gave it up, and Kilkenny took his time, picked the pass to Risdon. Have they unlocked Brisbane here? Wales, Payne, brilliant from Western United. A super goal from Connor Payne. And the home side get the goal they have deserved today.
They certainly have, Ben, and as we're about to see on the Harvey Norman replay, it all comes down that right-hand side. Again, Lachie Wales really injecting himself on that occasion, and he picks a pass. We see here he gets himself one-on-one with Brindle South. Great little ball in behind, plays it, and that's a wonderful, wonderful left-footed volley from Connor Payne. You can see there, Lachie Wales looks up, picks his pass, and across is a pass, make no mistake. And Connor Payne finds the back of the net. Absolutely nothing Freak could do about that finish.
17 A-League men's goals for Connor Payne across his career. Risdon arriving, hoping for a happy 200th. It's going along that way at the moment. Diamante reefs it to Garuccio, beat Ivanovic, and Payne again. Should be a corner and is.
And again, good passage of play, Diamante right at the heart of it. The desperation defending in the box. Ivanovic just gets caught a little bit square there by Garuccio getting in behind him to receive the first pass, but then they got good bodies around the ball to ensure that the shot was deflected over the crossbar to safety, but it's a corner, more pressure.
Only a half dozen appearances for Garuccio last year at City. What a signing he is for Western United, the former Scottish Premiership player with Hearts. Daly just looking behind him to try and see if Olsen was there. Now the Englishman, O'Shea, puts it on a platter for Brindle South. Akbari O'Shea, there's some space for Jay O'Shea. Straight into the arms of Jamie Young. They have been warned now, Western United.
Yeah, good ball out there to the left-hand side from O'Shea to Brindle South. He's looked up there, probably the right pass. Just doesn't have enough space on the edge of the box there to find enough purchase on the shot.
But John Aloisi wants to see more from his team as we see Dylan Parias about to make his entrance onto GMHBA Stadium. On for Dylan Wenzel-Halls, who's been busy this afternoon. Could have had a goal. Misses out on goals in 3 consecutive matches.
Yeah, could have had a couple, couldn't he, in that first half? When he pulled off, well, he forced a good save from Freak on one occasion. A cushioned header down from Lockie Wales, and then couldn't get the ball out of his feet. That second occasion for the strike. But always dangerous, Dylan Wenzel-Halls.
Jez Lofthouse replacing Nikola Milajuznic. We didn't see a whole lot of Matty Steinman for Jesse Daly. So the bench almost empty for Brisbane Roar. In fact, it has been fully empty. More than 15 minutes remaining. And Warren Moon has put all 5 of his outfield substitutes onto the park. And Tim Morgan is pitch side for us in Geelong. Hey, Tim.
Hi, Ben. I think that last shot you showed of John Aloisi on the sideline says it all. He is certainly just getting a little bit more anxious over this last 15 minutes as I guess the game goes into a little bit of a lull.
Yeah, and looking to this man Parias just to turn things in his side's favour. There's neat link up with Josh Risdon. Lockie Wales is after it. It almost found its way in the cross. Somehow it stays out. They may get another chance via Parias, and Neville just gets chopped down. It was like a gum tree in the forest.
I'm pretty convinced this isn't a shot. Nevertheless, it nearly does the job. Lockie Wales is a little bit of self-preservation perhaps there, worried about running into the post. But gee, that came close, didn't it? Freak caught out by the flight of the ball.
He would claim that, I'm sure, Mossy.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, watching Johnny Aloisi in the technical area, blood pressure rising.
Does it make you happy you're in the commentary box, Mossy, not on the sideline?
There are times you miss it, there are times you don't.
Connor Payne's off, ahead of Kai Trewin. Delivering, just cushioned back to Lockie Wales by Parias. And here is a strike from Risdon. He's getting busy late on Josh Risdon. He wants a goal to remember his milestone match by.
Oh, he's smelling one, isn't he? He can sniff it out. Great delivery here from Connor Payne. Spots a run on the far post of Parias. He cuts it back. Lockie Wales was never really set to strike the ball at goal.
Is there some icing to put on the cake for Western United? Not on this occasion. Can Brisbane move it quickly? They've got 3 minutes. Is there the urgency from Raw in these last 3 minutes or so? Parsons. He can produce something special. He opts for Neville. Trewin. Lofthouse. There's Parias backtracking. Out towards Akbari. And Western United clearing via Adisu Bayu. Akbari. Truett. And Parsons swiftly inboard to Akbari, gets the free kick. Quickly they go to Truett. Again, can't find his teammate. And Akbari still down, stretching out a calf. Remembering that Brisbane don't have any substitutions left. He's still on the turf, Ramed Akbari. And now he gets to his feet. Well, doesn't quite, still stretching out. They've got 90 seconds, Brisbane Roar, to find something from this match. The urgency.
But if you look at Lofthouse on the ball there's no movement off the ball either. Everyone's standing still, expecting individuals to make something happen. So we do talk about the lack of ball speed. But if you're on the ball and no one's making runs, you've got nothing to hit.
Well, where do Brisbane Roar go to from here?
The training pitch, and they need to train as if every day was their last on the training pitch, because there needs to be a lot more intensity about what they're doing. I know it's a young side, an inexperienced side.
Thumped away. Lockie Wales just couldn't catch it before it crossed the line. There's been one final opportunity for Western United. It was his assist which set up the goal for Connor Payne. Parsons ran into the brick wall in the form of Bayou.
Last chance saloon, what can they do?
Well, maybe here's a chance for Olsen. Can they pull it out of the fire, Brisbane? Akbari, and it dribbles wide. And it's 3 straight wins for Western United. They go to the top of the table in the Isuzu Ute A-League Men's. Connor Payne's goal, the difference between the sides, and it was beautiful build-up from Western United. It wasn't the prettiest performance on the whole, but it's worth 3 points, and that's all that matters. Brisbane Roar came to Geelong, bottom of the table. They stay rock bottom. John Aloisi, he'll be proud of his team. Taking down one of his former clubs. And another clean sheet for Jamie Young. It finishes in Geelong. Western United 1, Brisbane Roar 0.